Will you save money by refinancing your mortgage loans? Coming up. Hi everyone, this is Dr. Ernesto, and on this channel we give you health and wealth tips to help you be more successful. Now today I want to talk about mortgage loans. Interest rates on mortgages are at an all-time low. Because of COVID-19, the federal government is worried about our economy basically collapsing because of so many people unemployed. So the Federal Reserve, which is a bank separate from the federal government, is buying a lot of bonds. And the bond market is tied to mortgage rates. So what happens when they buy a lot of bonds? Well, there's a lot of demand. So that causes the interest rate to go down. When people are not buying bonds, the interest rate goes up. That's to entice people to buy them. That's how we finance our debt in the United States. Federal debt and mortgage debt and all sorts of other debt. So that's a quick analysis on how that happens. So basically, by them buying bonds, they're artificially suppressing mortgage rates. The idea is that people will refinance their houses so that they don't get foreclosed on, and so they have more expendable incomes. They can go out and spend it and stimulate the economy and avoid an economic calamity. So it's a very, very good idea. It's actually never been done the way they're doing it right now. So I want to explain what the benefits are. A lot of times people say, hey, you know what? I have a 3.5% interest and I want to refinance to a 2.5% interest. Should I do that? I'm going to save, $160 a month. Well, the answer is not so obvious. And those interest rates are incredibly amazing. In my 20 years, actually in the history of the United States, I don't think we've had interest rates that low since World War II. So just the fact that I'm saying it is amazing. So you definitely want to look into whether or not you can refinance. But let me give you some ideas to consider. Let's take a look here. I have, as an example, a $300,000 loan here over a term of 30 years. If you multiply that times 12 months, that's 360 months. That's the term of the loan. Interest rate's 3.5%. The monthly payment with principal and interest will be $1,347.13. Of course, that does not include taxes and insurance. That varies from state to state. All right, so now let's go over the amortization schedule. This is what you're basically gonna pay over 30 years. Your payment is always gonna be fixed. It's never gonna change. It's gonna be $13.47 all right? Every month when you make a payment, $472.13 will go towards principal. Every month, this principal amount decreases. If you look at this number, it's 472 over here. Sorry, it increases the principal amount. It's 472 here, and over here it's 493. It basically keeps going up because mortgages are what they call front-loaded on interest. They want you to pay most of the interest up front, but that way if you refinance, the bank gets the best of you. Remember, these guys are really smart, so they do things so they work in their best interest. It's not evenly split principal and interest over 30 years. No way. They know that on average, most people either refinance or sell their loan in 10 years. So we're going to go over what happens in 10 years. We'll use that as an example. In fact, we'll do it in 5 years to make it easier. So this is a principal. Every month when you make a payment, this amount, whatever you pay, is going to be subtracted from your balance, which in this case is $300,000. So you're going to see this amount decreasing every month here, every time you make a payment. Now, that's because you're paying down your principal balance. Now, the amount of interest you pay, as I mentioned, is front-loaded. So it starts out at $875 a month, and it decreases every month. You see this, how it's decreasing? Over here, it's at 852, and it's going to keep decreasing. Now, every time you make a payment, you're going to accrue more total interest to your loan. So this number here is going to go up. It's going to go 875 and 1748. You can see how these numbers are going in opposite directions. Every month when you make a payment, your payment is going to be the same, but it's going to be divided into your principal and your interest. But because your principal payments go up every month, it's going to be subtracted from your balance, and your balance is going to decline every month, this number here. But your interest is going to actually go down every month, but it's going to add to your total interest. So this number is going to increase every month. So let me show you the difference. So remember, right here you're paying $472 in principal, and right here you're paying $875 in interest on this loan. At the very end, at the end of 30 years, you're going to owe zero here. Remember, this one was $300, you owe zero. The amount of interest you paid was $184,000. So if you add that to your principal loan of $300,000, this loan is going to help you finance your house, but you're going to end up with a total payment of $484,968.26. That's going to be the total cost to pay off this house. Now, you could do this. There's tons of mortgage calculators online. This is the one I like, bankrate.com. It's very good. It explains a lot of details. But I want to explain to you step by step, and then I want to give you financial analysis so you can understand this on a deeper level, which they don't provide here. Okay, now, as you remember, with your interest, we started with $875. Look how much you're going to pay on your final payment. You're going to pay $3.92. And you could see how it's declining. It was $53 up here in the year 2050, and then it went down to $4 your last year. That's nothing. And your mortgage payment, you could see all the way down to the end, it's the same, $13.47 and 13 cents. But the amount of principal has increased. See here, it's $12.93.31. Your final payment, $13.43. So it's almost entirely principal that you're paying. That's why when you consider doing a refinance, you want to consider how far along you are on the loan and how much you're going to pay in fees. That's going to tell you whether or not it's actually worth to refinance. And let me show you what happens. This is the most common mistake people make. So here's this person here, $300,000 loan, 3.5% interest over 30 years, and their monthly mortgage again is $13.47 and 13 cents, as I mentioned. Now let's say you get a 30-year, $300,000 loan over here at 2.5% interest. Your payment is going to drop to $1,185.36. So it seems like a no-brainer until you do the math. Let's do this. If you separate the total amount, let's say before you're paying $13.47 and 13 cents per month, you're going to subtract your new payment, $85 and 36 cents. So that seems obvious. You're going to say, hey, I'm going to save $161.77. I should refinance. No, that's the common mistake people make. What you want to do is you want to look at this amortization schedule and look at the end. Look at how much you're going to pay in total interest here on this loan for 2.5% interest. You're going to pay $126,730 and 57 cents. Whereas if you would have stayed in your own loan, you would have paid $184,968.26. So let's calculate that. I already know some people are saying, well, dude, that's pretty obvious. I'm going to save a lot of money. You could, depending on the timing. That's why I wanted to make this video to explain, because I have a lot of folks that are asking me, well, I'm going to refinance. I'm going to save, $161 a month. And over the 30 years, I'm going to save, I'll give you the number here. I'm going to save $58,237.69. Now, if you're starting both of these loans at the same time, then yes, of course, it's a no-brainer. But as I mentioned, most people do not refinance or they don't hold on to the same loans for more than 10 years on average. So let's do a simple analysis. Let's just say you want to refinance, okay? So get your original loan and do this calculation we just did. Subtract the total interest you're going to pay on both of the loans and get the difference. So $58,000. So I'm going to go back to my original loan here and I'm going to look up, when do I hit $58,000 of principal interest on this loan? Well, it's right here. $58,461.61. Close enough. I'm going to hit that amount in January 2027. That basically means that you have to have had this loan for 6 years or less for you to profit from making getting another loan or refinancing. If you've had it for longer than 6 years, it does not make sense. You're going to lose money because you already paid this $58,000. You're going to have to add that on to this $126,730.57 over here. So if you actually were to refinance your original loan in January 2027, even though you dropped 1 point, which is what most mortgage brokers, they'll tell you, hey, as long as you're dropping 1 point, you're good. That's the golden rule. Well, it's not that easy. You gotta look at the time. How much interest you've actually paid in the loan. If you've already been here for 6 years or longer and you refinance and you go over here, this two and a half interest loan, you could end up paying more interest, even though the interest rate is 2.5%. So you can play around with these numbers. You can put in on the mortgage calculator, you can put in your interest rate, you can put in how much you owe, because some people might owe less than 300 or over 300, or they might want a 15 or a 20 or a 30-year loan. And I'll explain in the next video about 15 and 30-year loans. I have some good tips for you on that. But on this in particular, you want to keep these numbers in perspective. You want to deduct them, how much you paid on your loan and how much you're going to pay on a new loan. Get that difference, go to this mortgage calculator and figure out where that break-even point is. In this case, it's January 1st, 2027. That's where you're going to reach $58,000. Now, it's not that easy. There's also points. Some of the banks will charge you points if you want to pay down your interest rate, or they charge you just the loan fees. Even when they say there's no points, there's still fees. Nobody works for nothing. There's mortgage fees, there's title fees, there's escrow fees, there's impound fees. There's a lot of fees that you have to keep in mind when you're doing a refinance. And those can range from 1 to 2% typically. So if you're doing a $300,000 loan, you're looking at $3,000 to $6,000 extra. You could basically add that to your $58,000, and that's going to bring your break-even point even higher. It's going to bring you up here around $64,000 approximately. So you wouldn't actually break even. Your loan would have to be older than September 2027. So there's a few other things you can do. So let's say you're considering refinancing and you've had your loan for like 3 years, okay? You started your loan here in March of 2021, and let's add 3 years to that. Let's say you're at March 2024 right here. All right, so you've already paid $31,000 in interest. You're basically halfway through the amount I talked about it would take for it to make sense for you to refinance. At this point, if you refinance, you are going to save money. You're going to subtract that 31,000 from the 58, and you're basically going to save about 27,000, right? But you're going to add that 3 to 6,000, so you could end up only saving 21 to 24,000. Now, how can you make sure that you maximize that? Well, mortgage loans have a snowball effect. It's really cool. So if you pay an extra $10 a month, or you just make one payment somewhere early on in your payment, like you got a tax return, or you got an extra $500 or an extra 1,000 or whatever, you put that in, you pay towards your principal, it's going to decrease the amount of interest that you're going to pay for the remainder of the 30 years. The computers at the bank will automatically recalculate your loan, and your principal amount will actually increase immediately for the next 30 years, and your interest will decrease for the next 30 years. So you're not going to save just $1,000 if you pay $1,000. You got to consider the interest on that. So if you pay $1,000 payment, that could be like $10,000, $15,000 you could save. It could be a lot. It could be a lot over a period of time. I'm speaking off the top of my head, but basically there's a snowball effect. So even though I've only had this loan for 3 years, this 3.5% interest, instead of refinancing and paying $3,000 to $6,000 for the 2.5 interest loan, I could just pay $3,000 to $6,000 into this loan, and I would save even more money than I would if I were to refinance it again. So you'll save all those fees. Now, the only place where you're not going to save is people will tell me, well, hey, but I'm not going to save that $161 a month that I would save if I refinance. And that is true, and you can't really change that. But if you make payments, extra payments on your loan, you're going to end your loan earlier. You're not going to be paying it for 30 years. If you already paid, 7 years or 5 years on this 30-year loan, and you automatically make $1,000 or $500 or $5,000, whatever you can afford payment, like I said, it's a snowball effect. It's going to decrease it all the way down the line. So instead of it being a 30-year loan, it turns into a 29-year loan or a 27-year loan or a 25-year loan. You understand? So you may not save $161 a month, but you're going to save $1,347 a month later on down the line. So you want to look at this as a long-term investment in terms of mortgages. If it's a flipper or it's an investment property, those are whole different calculations. But I'm just talking about generally a mortgage that you want to hold on to, that maybe it's your house you want to live in. And even if it's an investment property, if you're paying all this interest, you obviously want to save as much as you can. But refinancing is definitely not always your best option. So don't jump to refinance. A lot of people are jumping. A lot of people are telling me, dude, I have a 4.5. I'm dropping to 2.5. I'm going to save like $500 a month. I go, yeah, but you've had the loan for 15 years. So even if you refinance, and even though you drop it, 1 or 2 points, you're not going to save any money. Your monthly payment's going to go down a little bit, but over the course of the loan, you're going to end up paying more than if you just stayed in your loan. So consider all these parameters, and it's pretty simple. Just do the math. Get this website, go to this website, bankrate.com, and you can look at the amortization schedules for the two loan amounts and the amount of interest you'd be paying on them. That'll help you make an educated decision on whether or not you should refinance. And yes, people tell me, well, yeah, I can refinance and then I can write off the fees. That's not a good strategy. If you're paying $3,000 to $6,000, you're gonna do your taxes, and yes, you're gonna deduct those fees, but you only get 30% of that. So if you pay $3,000, you're gonna get $900 back. You're gonna pay $2,100. It's not worth it. If you paid $6,000, you're gonna get $1,800 back. You're gonna pay $4,200 out of your pocket. Get those $4,200 or that $1,800 paid into the mortgage, it's going to have the same effect, and you're going to make a lot more money that way. So thank you again for listening. And if you have any questions about mortgages or mortgage interest, please comment below. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel, please do. That really helps us to take time to produce this content for you folks. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.